Howdy folks, Jamboriki here. Ever since I started my Puppet Panic series, I've had folks constantly asking me to talk about the popular horror puppet web series Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Now, I put this request off for a long time because I noticed that YouTube was very oversaturated with theories and analysis videos on this show, and I wasn't sure what I could bring to the table, especially this late into the game. However, there's no harm in me having my own say, and maybe folks will be interested in my perspective. Before we begin, I'd just like to remind folks that I have a Patreon, a website where you can support me financially on a monthly basis in return for amazing rewards. Feel free to become one of my patrons today to start enjoying premium benefits as a fan. Okay, so Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is a puppet show starring Red Guy, Yellow Guy, and Dog Guy. Each episode is about these three characters learning lessons from talking inanimate objects. But as an episode goes on, things start getting weird, and said teacher will reveal a darker motive. Yeah, there's a formula to every episode, for the most part that is, but thanks to fan support over the years, each episode's production values noticeably increase every time, and there's a different topic for every lesson.
Fancy show-offy foods like cooked meats, fruit salad, soil foods and yolk. These foods will clog up the body with unnecessary detail. Oh no, look, it's all broken and on the floor.
The show has gained a reputation for being one of the most disturbing video series on YouTube, but I personally say that it's at the highest tip of the dark YouTube iceberg. There's far more grotesque or creepy internet content out there. Plus, I don't really find the series to be that shocking, because Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared isn't the first piece of media to warp and twist the friendly puppet aesthetic. That cage has already been rattled many times by things like Meet the Feebles and Team America. Saying that though, there is a very effective creepy atmosphere to every episode. When an episode starts, we're settled into a comfortable, recognizable kid show vibe, but once the teacher's true intentions show their colors, we get this sickly feeling that something sinister is pulling the strings and we don't know what it is.
There's a time and a place for mucking around.
Like birthdays.
And camping.
I'm friends with my dad.
The appeal of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared goes beyond its surface level shock value. Sure, that's what made it go viral, but it's actually a very well made art house horror show that utilizes its abstract storytelling and vague mystery to leave us feeling very uncomfortable. I don't want to try and crack the code of the series, or create my very own analysis on what it all really means, because there's already loads of in-depth videos out there that have done that successfully. You've come to the wrong place if that's what you're after. So I'd just like to share what Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared means to me personally. My first impression of the show was that it heavily reminded me of the typical hazy dreams I have when struggling to sleep. The kind of fever nightmare that'll pop into my sleep as I fade in and out of consciousness in a restless slumber. I think this is all down to the show's nonsensical dreamlike logic, crossed with its nostalgic uncanny visuals that look familiar yet warped, which is made even weirder by the frequent animation and filmmaking technique changes now and again. These switches often play with our perception of what we're actually looking at half the time. It's kind of eerie how much the show resembles the typical visuals and themes that my own nightmares have. I'm actually curious how much inspiration the filmmakers drew from their own dreams. I also quite like Nightmind's interpretation that the show is a satire on children's entertainment, because that totally lines up with every episode. Each episode explores the seedy way that sordid agendas can be sneaked into kids' TV, from cult-like religious indoctrination,
He's made for her.
And she's made for him.
That's the way it's always been.
And it's perfect.
And it's pure.
to sleazy product placement.
Now, before we begin our journey, I just need to get some information from you. What's your name? Where do you live? What do you like to eat?
As well as the way that children's media can lose their charm and magic once higher corporate powers start getting their grubby hands on the creative process. I actually can't unsee all of these metaphors and analogies after Nightmind pointed this out in his video. However, the main thing that I got out of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is the remarkable way it captures what it's like to be autistic, and I say this as an autistic person myself. I'm unsure how intentional this was, but the whole show feels like we're looking through the eyes of someone on the spectrum. Red Guy even has a very strong autistic coding, being the only character who questions the injustices and illogical fallacies behind these teachers' terrible lessons, seeing right through the facade because he thinks differently to his friends.
A time that's changing all the time, it's time to go to time!
But we don't really want to. We're going to miss our show.
Plus, the scenes in which Red Guy tries to adapt to living a quote-unquote normal life felt all too relatable. Painfully relatable, even.
Hey, but wouldn't it be funny if one of these files came alive? Yeah. I am a file and You put documents in me and
That's the beauty of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. The whole point of the project is to encourage creativity and imagination, so it can all mean anything and everything. I appreciate that level of confidence in an audience. Now, I usually end a Puppet Panic review by critiquing the puppetry itself, but I don't really think that the quality of the puppetry matters with Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Sure, it is good puppetry, especially for an indie series, with the puppeteering experimenting and improving every episode as well. Oh, and I adore the unique mop-like design of Red Guy. It's so memorable and awesome. But the thing is, the puppets just need to exist in this show, they just have to be there. So I never felt the need to judge the merits of the puppetry itself. It does its job by just being the star.
Pesky bee?
You might be wondering if I've seen Channel 4's television spin-off of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, but I'm afraid that I've not had the time to watch it. I'd like to check it out someday though. So what do you think of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? Let everyone know in the comments below. I've been Jamboree. Feel free to like, share and subscribe. Cheerio folks.
Ninja Turtle.